Hey folks, this is Marshall from Slick Tools. I'm going to share a tip that'll save you a lot of time and improve safety if you're installing solar panels and wire mesh CritterGuard at the same time. I learned this trick from an installer I used to work for, and at the time they were one of the only solar installers who included CritterGuard on every job. I think this technique is one of the reasons they were able to do that and stay cost competitive. This technique comes into play when your solar array goes right up to the edge of the roof, no fire setbacks. In a situation like this, after you've laid your PV mods down, it becomes super time consuming and unsafe to access the perimeter of the array. If you install the solar panels and then have to come back to these edges and attach wire mesh, you have two options. You can work from a ladder, which isn't always possible, and if it is possible, it eats up a lot of time and can be unsafe. Or you can carefully crawl over your nice new solar panels down to the edge and reach over to the perimeter. Obviously unsafe, awkward, and these days everyone knows you're cracking the solar cells if you do that. So here's the trick. You can avoid both of those options if you pre-install the wire mesh before you start laying glass. Now this only works if you're using the rail mount method to attach your wire mesh. We have a separate video on that, but it's a super durable, clean looking way to critter-proof a solar system. You only need to pre-install the mesh along edges that you'll lose access to after the glass gets laid. If you haven't already done this while laying out the array, mark the corners and edges of the array. I usually do this with a lumber crayon on the roof and a white crayon or silver Sharpie on the rails. Take some measurements to figure out how high the panels will sit above the roof, and bend your wire mesh into C channels, either by hand or with our AG bender. Let the wire mesh splay out a little extra so it'll fill any low spots in the roof. You want the mesh to be compressed a little bit when you lay the solar panels on top of it. Then install the wire mesh just like you would after the glass is installed, screwing into the rails using our self-tapping stainless screws. Again, if you're not familiar with C channels or the rail mount method, check out our separate article and video on that. I would say for any long horizontal edges, put a return back to the rail pretty frequently, like maybe every 5 feet, to make sure the mesh is extra well positioned and supported, since you're not going to want to come back and adjust it after you lay the glass. When you're done, go ahead and lay your solar panels right on top of the mesh. Then wrap the remaining accessible parts of the perimeter with wire mesh, and you're done. Hope that saves you some time. Did I mention we also rent out the AG bender and our other tools for both professionals and DIY homeowners? Check us out at slicktoolsllc.com.